How many kids do you have?
3.
You've got 3. You had to think about that for a second.
Well, no, I was trying to figure out what kind of meal you got going on it. So, we got 10, 8, and 11, 8, and 7.
Wow.
11, 8, and 5.
And you were telling us on the phone the other day that they're all girls.
All girls, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Your house is an estrogen fest.
Yeah, it's all good though.
Yeah.
It's, you know, the older I get, the more my eyes droop. You know, I already look like I'm high all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my look. I came out looking banged up right out of the gate. Doctor's like, go check out Breuer, Cubicle B. Kid looks baked, hilarious. Take a picture of me with a joint in his kid's mouth. Kid's hilarious. Look at it. That's how I got half baked. I didn't even audition for that movie. Chappelle asked me to be in that. He's like, "Hi, man. Where you look, Jim? You don't even need makeup. Just blow up, man. Just show up."
That's great.
My man gonna blow it up. You gotta play the real high guy, man.
He does that well.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my goodness.
Chappelle impression.
Yes.
That's awesome. So that's how you got the movie, just by the way you look.
Just to intent, he really did. He came in, Jim, man, wrote the wee movie. It's gonna blow up, man. A lot of appearances in there.
And that movie was huge.
Yeah.
Huge cult.
Yeah.
Huge.
Big cult following.
I didn't realize, it didn't do well in the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Although it was weird when it first came out. Me and Dave went to go see it in New York, and we stood in the back of the room, and it was like a concert when the lights went out.
Everyone lit up.
Everyone lit up. We were like,
Nice.
"Oh, this is crazy."
Awesome.
People were howling in the seats, but that never was really promoted. I don't know if it scared the daylights out of people, but
Right.
the minute it went on video, which was a good year back then,
Yeah.
even though it's only late 90s, still DVDs weren't huge.
Right.
And now Avatar's already, you can rent it in your hotel room.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Back then it was like a year.
It took forever.
Right.
So I'm on Clearwater Beach. It's like a year and a half later, and I was with a couple nieces, and I was kind of recognized from SNL. People like, "Hey man, it's the goat, man. I love the goat." So it's like a little bit of that, but nothing crazy. And we went into this bar, and all I did was walk in, and I'm like, you got a pool table, walked in back, and the whole room, it looked like I was a naked hot chick. The whole room just stopped, like slow motion, just staring at me, like, what's going on? Went in the back. Young kids were 18, 19, coming in the back, getting on their knees, doing that whole "you're not worthy" thing.
Right.
And like this guy's coming up to me, he's like, "I'll get some 2 pizzas. No killer, you gotta understand." I'm like,
Right.
what are they doing?
What's going on?
What are they doing?
Wow.
And then it went on DVD and tape that weekend.
Yeah.
This thing blew up.
That's
Went crazy.
huge.
Wow.
Nuts.
Awesome.
Absolutely nuts. Yeah.
One of my favorite movies though of all time. I still love Half Baked.
Oh, yeah.
And go to offthehookcomedy.com. It's the only place you can buy tickets. Offthehookcomedy.com. One show tonight, one show tomorrow, and that's it.
That's it.
That's
Bow,
it, man.
Bing, like a pirate.
Right, you're in and out.
In the night.
Take that
thief in the
down
night.
and run. Who was that masked man that bleated like a goat? Goodbye, people. I don't know who he was, but he looked high.
Oh man. So
It's funny because my kids look this way too.
do your kids look like you?
Really?
Yes, when we walk around, people are really offended. They're not sure if they should call and report me.
Right.
That guy looks high. Oh my God, the children! They look terrible, and they just been standing in front of Cinnabon for an hour. And they got my giggle too, but it's just higher octave. Right?
Yes.
Well, I'm like,
That's going to be great.
report support that,
That's
man.
right.
Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd be saying 20 years ago about anything?
No.
Unless, like, in the context of
No.
I was 5, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
That's very weird.
That's strange.
I used to, when you used to listen to oldie stations, you're like, pfft,
Yeah.
feel bad for these people. It's all they got is their 50s music.
Yeah.
Now I find myself going, 80s night, awesome! Awesome! Shout! Let it all out! These are the things I can... Don't touch it! Don't touch the dial!
It's so true.
When this song played, Daddy was it. Well, we didn't get into it. But trust me, this was the time.
You kids are horrified.
Yeah, they don't know. And it's so... Now I get it, when my older siblings and my parents are just like, this was just a different time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, whatever. The music is still a little... Now, you don't get...
Yeah.
You don't get... Hey, 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 hey! Don't you forget about me. You understand, Molly Ringwald? Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Man, he had this dog during Half Baked, and I said, I wish that's what they filmed. If someone had a documentary of Dave,
Yeah.
and Dave got this little, I think it's called like a white Alaskan Husky.
Uh-huh.
Those are horrible dogs, by the way.
Is that what they are?
They're mean-tempered, too.
Oh.
Yeah, and their tail curls up.
Yes.
Any dog with a tail that goes upward and curls, I don't trust it.
Yeah. It's a good rule.
It's already got a snotty eye. Anything that just shows their rear end.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at my rear end. I get it. Look at it. Come and snip away. He shows up with a dog. I said, what are you doing with this dog? Oh, man, I want to be lonely, man. So now Dave can barely take care of himself. And what I mean by that, he's going to be late for his own funeral.
Right, right.
So he doesn't have a name for the dog. He said, I'm going to call him Whitey. I said, Dave, you can't. Why are you going to call him that? I want white people to hear me say, sit down, Whitey. This is my favorite. Play dead, Whitey. So he eventually calls him Monk, after the famous jazz.
Yeah, Thelonious Monk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. He's very into jazz. Dave's really deep with the history of jazz and all that.
Right on.
So he names a Monk. Now, Monk is beyond a terrorist. This dog would poop. I don't know how far we go. He basically would relieve himself anywhere in a it was like, how many stars is this hotel? 4? Wonderful. Bring it down a notch. And you hear, to the point where you'd hear that slap. Slap, trickle, trickle, trickle. And Dave would just turn around going, oh man, my bad, my bad, my bad. And people were literally going, oh my God, my Lord, Billy Joel is not going to approve of this. When he comes in, we must clean this before Billy Joel and his crew comes in. So, I mean, it was a revolving door of like Sting and Billy Joel, and every morning was plop, plop, plop. And the furniture was like, we flew this furniture in Peru. Yeah, well, I'm bringing it to the ghetto. You'd wake up and come down the lobby and there'd be cotton hanging out of the cushions. You're like, oh, Monk was here. Yeah. Every morning a van would pick us up, the cast would pile on, and this dog would nip at the driver. Like, I'm not even nip, like he'd grab his shirt and start pulling, and the guy would, he'd swerve on the road like, Dave. He's taking it to a new level, man. You can't just sit there going, my bad, my bad. The dog is nipping at, and the driver's clearly petrified. Right. And he's like, yeah, the dog's cute, man. And he literally would be sitting there growling at the guy. You know, so he's growling, he's got his rear end staring at me because his tail's on.